Everything that happens in life can happen in a show. You can make 'em laugh, you can make 'em cry. Anything can go. The clown with his pants falling down, or the dance that's a dream of romance, or the scene where the villain is mean. That's entertainment.
The lights on the lady in tights,
or the bride with the guy on the side,
or the ball where she gives him her all. That's entertainment.
the plot can be hot, simply teeming with sex.
a gay divorcee who is after her ex.
It could be Oedipus Rex,
where a chap kills his father and causes a lot of bother.
The clerk who is thrown out of work,
By the boss who is thrown for a loss.
by the skirt, who is doing him dirt.
The world is a stage is a world of entertainment.
Hello, welcome back to Floating Through Film. It is one of your hosts, Luke, and today we are doing Pick a Musical, where Blake and I here are picking a musical film that we really love and reviewing it today. So yeah, I'm here with my other host, Blake.
What's up?
And Danny is not here for this episode. We kicked him off because he's a musical hater. No, I'm joking.
Exactly.
He's in India right now.
Yeah, visiting family. So
while we're in Arkansas. What a change of location. But yeah, he's generally a musical hater. So we took this chance to not have him be a hater.
Exactly.
And enjoy what we both really like musicals.
Celebrate musicals for once.
Yeah, instead of shitting on them. But yeah, the two musicals that we chose I chose The Band Wagon, directed by Vincente Minnelli, and Blake here chose The Legend of the Stardust Brothers, directed by
Makoto Tezuka.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if he's directed anything else.
He has directed other things, but this is the only thing I've seen.
Yeah,
him.
Which I don't know if this is like a Obiash situation where it's like this is like the one movie of his that's like actually like popular. Or like relative to his like to his other movies, I feel like.
It is for sure. No, because he actually, I think he was friends with Obayashi actually. So
was he actually? Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually.
No, because one of the actors that we'll get into it obviously later, but one of the actors, the president of Atomic he's Mr. Toga in House.
Oh wait,
the sensei.
Damn, really?
Yeah, because that's one reason why he actually decided to work with Tezuka, because him and Obayashi were friends. So.
That's crazy. Okay, that actually is really cool. Actually, this one also just being like anti-fascist, like makes a lot of sense, like in that respect. But yeah, before we get into the movies though, I wanted to ask you, Blake, and something I've been thinking about like while watching these movies is like specifically for the musical genre. For the musical genre. What do you think a musical provides that other genres or just other films in general don't? Like, what's the appeal of the sorry, like, Days cat is meowing, but what's the appeal of the musical genre for you? Like, what do you think it?
I think the best thing is the escape from reality it provides.
Escape from reality, okay.
Yeah, because it's doing it. Paused. Sorry for the cat.
So we got caught up with Danny's cat being yelling a lot. But yeah, continue your point about musicals.
No, yeah. So I think the best thing about musicals is the escape from reality they provide. Okay. At least in terms of, I think it's really good at showing how like the artist escapes reality too in a lot of situations.
Okay, like escape reality. Like, what do you mean by that?
I feel like a lot of musicals use the musical numbers as a way to express feelings that are usually hidden in real life. Exactly. So they have to do it in like this musical number basically by escaping reality.
I completely agree. Like, what I was going to bring up is like it allows a mode of expression. Like if we're boiling it down to like the core value, I think it's an expressive creative thing. It just like it expresses feelings, ideas, and just normal interactions in a very like cinematic way.
Yes.
there's a lot of things you can do with that, like especially with like the Band Wagon. Vince Minnelli does in the Band Wagon, which I think like Jacques Demy took a lot from. Was
I can see that.
Was kind of like how a lot of times like in this movie in the Band Wagon, how Vincent Minnelli, a lot of the like for example, the scene right before the shoe shine musical number when he's like going through all of that. He that's like the start of the musical number, but you don't really know it's the start of a musical number because
that's
in a way point. He's like, and there's also the line in the movie: the world is a stage, the stage is a world of entertainment.
Yeah,
the fact that basically the musical number, it's equated to like what we do, like our steps in real life can be equated to a musical number, like just without the music. Like it's kind of like it's like emphasizing everyday movements to be more musical and more like poetic in a way. It kind of if that makes any sense. It's like. No, it prevents it. It's hard to say because it's like it prevents it in a very cinematic way that really, I think, Minnelli does really well here. I think Jacques Demy does really well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we can get more to it when we do that. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get into the Band Wagon, which is one of my favorite musicals. It's a film that I
didn't know she got that.
Yeah.
Sorry. More cat distractions.
That's going to be a part of the episode today. Honestly.
It will.
But
she's missing Danny.
Yeah, we're not enough. We can't fulfill the void. But the Band Wagon I watched for the first time this year, in which this film will probably make an appearance on my
the recap?
Top discoveries of the year. Spoiler alert. I immediately watched this and immediately became one of my favorite musicals. Like. And so I love Vincent Minnelli in general, especially like when he hits. Like he has some movies that I'm like not crazy about, but like this and like An American in Paris and Some Came Running. When he hits, he really hits for me.
Yeah.
And this one I initially loved because like the thing with the Band Wagon is that yes, like obviously it's like a typical musical, but I think it's kind of insane. Like so we like looking at the Letterboxd page for this. It's like the poster and the header for this, or like kind of like bare bones. Like you're like okay, it's gonna be a typical musical, and you go into it. It's like one of the most like beautiful looking things you've ever seen.
It is. Honestly.
It's honestly incredible. Like the colors here, the sets are like artificial, but like look amazing. Very well artificial.
Yeah. No, my first I only took quick notes on the Band Wagon, obviously, but my first one was the Technicolor was really popping.
Oh my god, it's insane. Like, and even like just like the production design too. It's like there's like so many like little like details. It's like very detailed world. But it's a great film. Like especially with Fred Astaire, starring Fred Astaire, who at this time was a very washed up, kind of like just like not as popular as he used to be. He still starred in some musicals like Face to Face, the Stanley Donen one from this decade with Audrey Hepburn. But like he definitely wasn't as big of a force as he was then. And this movie's kind of like really like he's very self-aware of this in this movie, and it's amazing that he like actually like won like decided to star in this. Like yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, it felt real for sure.
It really reflected real life. But yeah, Fred Astaire, love that guy. But yeah, this musical number, I kind of just want to read my Letterboxd review for this because honestly, like that's a big reason why I love it. My Letterboxd review was Vincent Minnelli's approach of let's make every musical number here the greatest of all time was a really good idea. Don't know why it's not used more often.
Yeah,
and like honestly, like I'm honestly shocked every time I see this because like usually like okay, I love musicals, especially like old Hollywood ones from this era, but most of them there's always like. Maybe like a few that I'm like, okay, I don't love it, but they're fine, or like maybe they're a little bit of a dud or whatever.
Yeah.
This one I actually like love every single one, even the weird ones, which we'll get to.
There was one that was a little too.
The triplets.
Yeah, that one.
I grew to like. Initially, I was like, I don't know what, but I kind of grew to love it. It's really. I just love how weird it is. Really.
The other ones I agree though are some of the best.
But yeah, I'll get more into it too. There's like so much about this movie I love. But what do you think about? What are your thoughts?
No, yeah, I think this is my second Fred Astaire movie. Although the first one I don't really remember. So
okay,
it was what was it? What did I say? It was Follow the Fleet.
Yeah, he pumped out a lot basically.
Yeah,
like, he was they were basically in the 30s, like 30s, 40s, kind of like of musicals.
No, but I mean, I think we were talking about this beforehand. But the thing that stands out with him is how he moves.
Oh my god,
it's insane.
Like, he like weighs like nothing. It's like
exactly,
but like at the same time, he like has like a very amazing screen presence. So it's like Yeah, but
I just kind of mimic what you were saying about the musical numbers. They are like some of the most inventive and unique. Like, honestly, we'll get to it, but then that noir one is like one of the best musical numbers. Maybe my
favorite. Like literally,
while watching, I was like, oh my god, this is like insane.
Honestly. Like, and that's like a good point. Like another reason why musicals are so interesting. They allow filmmakers to kind of abandon reality and just get like more formally interesting. Like I think of like someone like Wes Anderson. Like sort of in that vein of just like doing whatever the fuck you want. Basically. Yeah, it's a very much a blank canvas for just like doing like formal experimentation.
It is.
But, yeah.
I mean, we'll get into more of my thoughts, I guess, as we go along. Okay. But I did enjoy it quite a bit. I do understand why you decided to pick it while Dave's gone, though. I will say that.
Yeah, he
would. I was texting him while we were doing this, and I was basically saying like, I understand why Luke picked it while you're gone because you would hate this. I think you would respect what it was doing, but but you would hate every choice it made. Basically,
he would like the noir stuff. I think.
Yeah, I think he might like that one, but
which we'll get to. I absolutely love that. But yeah, we'll get straight into it. Now, one thing about this movie is that I don't know if you noticed this. There's like not really much plot at all.
No,
like it's like, of course, it like sets up like, okay, they're making this like Faust story, but then after that, it's just like it's just a bunch of stuff about the production of it. It just like there isn't really like there's like kind of a romance, but like it doesn't really matter that much. And then but we'll get to it. Basically, like starts off with Fred Astaire. Doesn't even introduce with him. It's just like of people trying to auction off his memorabilia from like his old movies, and basically being like $5, and then no one even cares. He goes 50 cents, like
free.
Oh my god, no. But and also then you get like the scene with the train, which is something I love about Minnelli. Is he's not afraid. Because I love when filmmakers, obviously we've talked about Tati and Sai, which they're not afraid to just like hold at a distance on like an action and not like and kind of let your eyes do the work in terms of where you're supposed to focus. And he does it. There's one scene in American Paris which I love, which maybe we'll do American Paris at some point on the podcast. But this one's really good because I don't know if I'm curious because this is your first time watching it. Like, how long did it take for you to notice it was Fred Astaire behind the newspaper?
I feel like I've seen this shtick before, so I knew it was probably going to be him, but
honestly, but he sort of doesn't draw much attention to it though. Like,
no,
it's like
he's just behind.
He's like behind. I think there's someone obscuring it too, like him at first too, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah,
at least you guys are like, oh, that I forgot his name. God, Tony something. What I'm thinking of his last name.
Guy?
The Tony Hunter.
Oh yeah,
Fred Astaire's character.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him Fred Astaire.
Honestly,
it really is Fred Astaire. Like,
is,
but like they're like, oh, this guy's washed up. Like, he's like, and like Fred Astaire starts joining them, like, trash talking himself. Like, but then he like leaves like, I forgot what he says. But basically he leaves him like in a very bitter way. He's very like I could see some people saying like the way he talks about like himself is like kind of corny, but like I kind of love it. Like because it is a very like something I love about the musicals is that they're very self-aware, especially the 50s musicals, American musicals, which I think I like them more than the 40s era of Hollywood musicals. 40s always took themselves a bit too seriously. Yeah. I think starting in the 50s is like it's sort of is like kind of how you see with like westerns in the 60s or 70s, where like because of the amount being made specifically. A lot of the musicals a lot of the westerns or the musicals you see are just mainly just like very much like kind of like making fun of it, being very like not very self-aware basically, and this film does a lot of that. So with Fred Astaire like being very aware of his own kind of like flaming star, which I loved. Which of course when he hears like there's paparazzi outside, he's like, oh okay, maybe I have a little bit left. And he walks out. He's like talking to the paparazzi, which he knows. Then all of a sudden, next train over, I guess the co-star of this movie, Ava Gardner is the name of the character. I forgot what's the name of the actress. I think is actually kind of famous. The actress is Sid Charisse. But she's also I think she's most known for being in Singing in the Rain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen that once. Okay.
Okay. Do you like Singing in the Rain?
I like it.
Okay. Danny shits on it, even though he's never seen it.
Even though he's never seen it. He would hate that movie, but yeah.
Exactly, but still. Which she's like she's the hotshot ballet, dancer. Yes. Who's honestly her kind of her whole dynamic with her and her husband was very reminds me a lot of Barbara Jean and her husband in Nashville. I don't know if you made that connection, like the controlling husband of like the big star. But
no, I just watched the Red Shoes, and this one felt a lot like the Red Shoes, obviously too, and French Gong.
Okay.
Because they're all dealing with like this thing of like you have this controlling member of like basically this person trying to control your destiny as an artist.
Yeah.
This entire time.
Okay.
They all three have that similar.
Honestly, you could say this has a little bit of limelight, like quite a bit of limelight too, especially with like the Fred Astaire Charlie Chaplin connection.
Yeah.
And the fact that
it definitely feels like
Chaplin.
A little bit.
There's a romance between Chaplin and the dancer in that one, and guess what? In this one, there's romance between Fred Astaire and the dancer in this one.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I never even. Damn. Okay, that's honestly really interesting. The question is, do I like this more than Limelight?
No.
They're like very close together for me.
No.
I love both.
No. How dare you?
I'm sorry. Not really though.
Not really.
But basically, Tony Hunter basically goes out to the platform and basically is greeted by his two friends who are like kind of making fun of him with like the fan club thing. Like it's so funny how much like attention they're bringing to themselves because it's hilarious. But honestly. Okay, this is another thing I need to bring up. The two movies we're reviewing today kind of have a lot of similarities between them. I don't know if you like noticed that. There's a lot of connections you can make between the two. The fan clubs in both of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Both of them have a very similar camera movement of the camera spinning.
No, they do. Yes. No, I was thinking that.
Both are about the entertainment industry and like the, kind of like about losing your fame, basically, like kind of the danger it does to, or just what it does to someone. Obviously, there's a lot of differences too, but there's honestly some connections between the two. But this is the first one I really made. But because also before he even like runs into them, he like starts a musical number where he's like by myself, and then like they like basically interrupt his musical number.
Yeah,
it's great. But I love when they go outside in the street and you see all like the neon. Like this is the first probably shot of the movie. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This movie's like
this is where I was like writing down the Technicolor spot.
What the hell? Minnelli's amazing with color, obviously. Especially reds. He's amazing with reds. His reds, if you notice, like his reds always pop out. Like he's them more scarcely than a lot of other ones, but so basically. He finds himself at this like kind of like little junction type thing with like a bunch of like I don't know what
I just call it like an arcade, honestly. That's because that's what it reminded me of. But yeah,
honestly, it's kind of like with a bunch of these like little like futuristic trinkets. It's like the old going into the modernity basically.
Yeah,
like, honestly, very similar to like Playtime. Like
and there's just
the trinket showcase there. Like, but this like I love how much like when he's walking through the like the trinkets and everything. How long he kind of goes? It's like it goes for like a pretty good like 1 or 2 minutes basically. Like he definitely like goes on it for long.
I mean you were saying that this is like you don't really realize. It's like you're already in the musical number, but you kind of are in this moment.
Yes. Until you basically they finally break out song and dance. You're like, okay, that was like all leading up to that.
While they were doing the song and dance though, I was just thinking to myself like. It's really funny that this is just like all happening in his head, essentially, because there are a lot of people just like screaming and like running away from him.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's like there's just this insane man dancing in this arcade. It's like
there's so many great moments in this whole thing too. Like I mean, the beginning with the hot dog, like him going up to the guy asking like, "Oh, didn't this used to be like an old theater?" And the guy just hands him a hot dog.
Yeah,
like it's like he isn't used to like the new way of like I guess at this time the new way of like you don't have to pay for stuff immediately. It's just put on the tab. It's kind of like a new thing to him. Like. Kind of like a lot, not just like he isn't just like outdated in his like performance aspect. It's like he's kind of outdated in the world generally. He doesn't really know how to a lot of like the new like customs and like trying to like norms, societal norms, and nowadays he's not really caught up with that.
Yeah.
But like this dance number is incredible. Like the way he's like moving his body like on the chair and everything with his legs and everything. It's like goddamn, Fred Astaire was built different.
He was built different though.
Holy shit. But then,
I mean, isn't he the one that did the slow-mo dance too?
Slow-mo dance? Did he?
Isn't that the one where it's like you see in the background like they're going all like fast or whatever, and he's like dancing in slow-mo kind of?
Wait, is this like a... I don't think I've seen this before.
I don't know. I saw a clip and I could have swore it was Fred Astaire, but I'm probably wrong.
I'm looking this up right after this episode. Holy shit. It sounds amazing. But now, next we get introduced to maybe my favorite character in this movie. The director.
Jeffrey the asshole?
Okay, hold on. Okay.
That was my first note. That was my first note. Because he was definitely an asshole at the very beginning.
Yes, but like he's like an asshole. He's like a good asshole. He's not a he didn't mean to be an asshole. He's carried away. Is kind of how I think about it. Because like it's like another thing I love about this movie. It's like, okay, you get the setup of like the so-called pretentious director who gets like carried away with the art and everything, you know. But like, I love how this movie like it doesn't like make fun of him especially because it kind of like even at the towards the end when like they decide to flip the musical like go back to what they originally did. Like you the shot where they realize he's in the room. It kind of is set up like, oh, this is like the actual like villain moment, you know. But then he's like, okay, you know what, I was wrong, you know. We'll just go with that. Kind of cool. And he kind of just joins in, like, he's like he's very much like self-aware and like he's not as self-serious as he's set up to be, which I really love. Like, which wouldn't surprise me if like the screenwriter initially was like wanting him to be like the kind of the villain, but then Miss Minnelli was like, hold on, he has a point, you know.
He has a point.
He's redeemable, but
no, I think he was. So.
And I just love him. Like he's hilarious.
He is very funny.
Oh my god. We'll talk about it, but basically. They go to his basically his two Fred Astaire's two friends have written this like play basically that they want him to star in, and they're gonna want to get this theater director who's like this world-renowned acclaimed theater director to direct.
Yes.
And so that they go to it. You know, he thinks Fred Astaire is like an assistant guy or something, some like a PA.
I just like whenever they're first watching the play that he's putting on, because Fred Astaire's is like, this guy's the one that's supposed to be directing a musical.
Yeah, it's like what is it like? Is this I forgot what it's like a devil story? Or
yeah, I mean it was just like very dramatic, like a very dramatic movie that you wouldn't imagine this director would be doing musicals basically.
Yeah. And then when you see like when you first see him like actually like talk to them, you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like why would be dramatic? Like this guy's born
very self-absorbed.
Oh man, but in a good way. I'm very sympathetic towards him. I'm gonna say that. But basically,
I'm less sympathetic towards him, but.
He just.
But I think he realizes the reason he becomes sympathetic is because he realizes he was wrong.
And that's why I love it. Like he just gets carried away. He gets a little bit carried away. You know,
he thinks he's better than he is.
We all get carried away sometimes.
He never had to. It basically was like he never had to deal with failure.
Yeah,
so
he's human, you know. Like, but basically, they go and pitch this story to him, and so they pitch this like awesome like story about like it's like this like. Oh God, okay? Great. I don't think I wrote down what the
original story was.
Yeah, what the original story was.
I remember what it turned into.
Yeah. That's like the main thing I remember about it. Like, it's like this music. Okay, no, actually, I do have it written down. It's like he would play an author of a children's book who feels he's compromised himself artistically by writing lurid yet lucrative murder mysteries on the side. Lily says success makes him feel as though he's sort of sold his soul to the devil. But of course, the director, he sees that and is like, oh my gosh. We gotta make this into Faust.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It starts changing everything. It's like just like making into Faust now.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you know. Have you like read Faust or like
I
know
haven't
much
read
about
Faust,
the story?
but I do know some about the story.
Okay, I don't really know. What's it like? Do you know what it's like about?
I mean, I feel like we've had this discussion before because Faust has come up a couple times, but it's just about this guy that basically sold his soul to the devil to become good at what he's doing. So
okay,
it's essentially all it's about.
Got it. Well, I mean, there's some great like honestly, one of the lines he says in the scene honestly could be made as an argument for like why musicals are good. He says, "I'm sick of these artificial barriers between the musical and the drama. In my mind, there is no difference between the magic rhythms of Bill Shakespeare's immortal verse and the magic rhythms of Bill Robinson's immortal feat." Honestly, it doesn't make sense. And I love like, but like it is hilarious. Okay, did I mention that this movie's hilarious too?
You haven't yet, but it is very funny.
I should put that out there because the line he has right after he says that is hilarious. He goes, Hal, write that down. I'll use it at Princeton. And then the guy says, it's already down. You used it last week.
You used it last week.
But yeah, basically, then we get the musical number That's Entertainment, which is probably the most famous song from this movie, I think.
Well, it's essentially what the movie is about.
Exactly. Sure, and this is part of why, like, this musical number is, like, showcase how self-aware this movie is.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, naming a bunch of, like, cliches, but then they're like, oh, that's entertainment, you know? And this musical number is, like, sick. Like, the dance, like, the actual, like, formal stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like, you get, like this guy carrying this like humongously long ladder that like never ends. You get like
dude, that's one of the ones that I wrote down. Like the ladder one was
like how they do that. Like you got like them with the bowler hats, like the Charlie Chaplin hats. There's so much cool stuff in this. But basically, they also that's when the scene the guy mentions that we need to get the ballet dancer. We need to get her in the musical. But as in the next scene, they realized that he's like the director's like, oh, I'm gonna get her, but everyone else is like, oh no, you can't get her. She has this like really controlling boyfriend who won't let her go into theater or whatever.
Without him being the choreographer. Yeah.
But obviously, no one told that to this dude, this Chad. You know,
by the way, I found the slow-mo dance. By the way.
Oh, wait, okay, cool.
It's insane.
It was Fred Astaire, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But
it was in the Easter parade. So.
Okay, got it. But I mean, come on. This the trick he pulls here, the director pulls here, Jeffrey Cordova is the director's name. Jeffrey Cordova. Smart, really cool idea of getting his strategy to get her in the production is really smart. Calls the boyfriend over and he's like immediately thinks, oh yeah, he's trying to get my wife into her play or whatever.
Yeah.
Play like I'm not gonna let her do that. But he's like, oh no, I want you for the choreography. He's like, no, you know, for our leading lady needs to be like a singer first and foremost. Like a dancer can't do this part. Basically, like edging him on to like. Wanting to prove him wrong, basically getting this like guy's ego.
Yeah.
Guys using this guy's ego against him, basically. Really fucking smart, honestly.
Yeah. No, it is.
I love his agent too, who's like initially like, oh yeah, there's no way in hell, and then after he does it, like he's like calling someone on the phone. He's like, this girl's out of the question. Like, don't even entertain him about it. Like, and then we just see him like casually like do it right there, then, and then right afterwards he goes back on the phone like. Never mind. Like he could probably like I forgot what did he say? He said something funny about it. Like the line he says about it. Basically about this guy can get anyone he wants. Basically at this point, like the tricks he pulls basically is like super smart. But yeah, basically now the cast for the musical set up, where and it's actually the musical is called The Band Wagon.
Yes.
In the movie as well. Honestly, very similar to the Red Shoes. I mean, like oh man, we'll get to that movie eventually.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. Daniel will have to be on the podcast for that one.
Oh no, we can kick him off again, probably. You know?
We can kick him off again.
But basically, they go to this guy's house, or I think it's the director's house. I think where he's pitching to the investors, Which, oh my god, I love this scene because it's
so funny.
we get this scene, of course, sets up kind of the initial conflict between the Fred Astaire and the ballet dancer.
Yeah,
which is kind of just like a misunderstanding, miscommunication type thing. Which kind of quickly gets resolved. Which is another thing about this movie is like there's not really much stakes in this movie at all. It's just like it just kind of comes and goes. Like it's not like the end of the world or anything for anyone. It's like it never gets too dramatic.
There are moments it gets very dramatic, but
like what?
It's like before they actually resolve everything.
But even then, it's like dramatic, but like not like the way I'm like thinking. It's like there's like outbursts of like anger, but like I'm talking about like more like melodramatic, like melodramatic like sadness or like crying or anything. It's like
there's some of that.
Not really. I don't really think so.
Especially during their talk.
Which talk?
The one like before they reconcile. Basically, she's like, it's very
on the stairs. On the stairs.
No.
Oh, that one. Okay,
it's very melodramatic.
Okay,
crying.
actually, yeah, good point. Yeah, but like, I guess, yeah. But even then, that gets like resolved immediately, and then it's like let's go back to
Yeah,
back to the hangout movie.
That resolution is like honestly a sexual innuendo too.
Like, okay.
It feels like it at least,
okay, you'll have to bring that back up when we get to that. But,
I didn't write it down. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just remember like looking at her and he like said something like he just said something like really weird, and then like it cut to them like walking out together.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah, interesting.
I mean, under the Hays Code, they kind of had to do that, and so it's like kind of entertaining, like to see like how certain like old Hollywood filmmakers would get around it. Like, of course, like I mean, like the most famous one is like Hitchcock in the end of North by Northwest, with the train going in the tunnel.
Yeah,
at the right exact moment, you know. Like, great moment. But yeah, the scene in the house it sets up the conflict between those two. But the shots of them like opening the door, so seeing funny. The guy going like
every
insane.
Every time it's so funny.
This dude could get like this guy would be like a fire producer like for any director nowadays. Like the way he's selling this is so insane. It's like he was giving like an Oscar like level performance for these people. It's so good. But of course, but the scene on the steps I love because like because they're initially cordial and then like. He's like, you probably wouldn't. I thought you wouldn't like someone like as washed up as me. And she's like, no. I used to love your films. Like I saw them I just saw them the other month, like at the movie for a revival. And he like gets like he's like really fucking mad. But it's like hilarious how she says like at the museum, you know, for the revival. Like it's perfect. But
he's got big time Buster Keaton vibes. So.
Honestly, like but like also what he says back to her is hilarious. He's like, oh yeah, the ballet dancers of today are like awful, you know, like are nowhere near the greats and everything.
Well, doesn't he offer her a smoke too? And she says, I don't think dancers should smoke.
Yeah.
He's like, well, do you mind if I have one then or something?
Honestly, I didn't even pick that up. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's hilarious. But and then like they like get an argument, and then she's about to. They're both about to leave, and then basically the director comes in and is like, oh, here's my stars. You know? Oh, it's so good. But basically, I think at this point we get the montage of basically of like the production trying to get going. Isn't really like going out well. It's kind of a disaster, right?
It is a disaster.
At this moment. I mean, there's a lot of great moments. I don't know. I think my favorite out of these scenes is like when they're like practicing the lines and like. You know,
this one's great.
He's like going kind of nonchalant, and then the director's like, "Hold on, come with me." And it's like, if you've ever seen Iceberg, you know, there's 1/8 behind the surface, 7/8 below. You give me 1/8. You give me 1/8, Tony. You gotta give me those 7/8. And then he goes back out there and starts yelling it. And
I was just like, you never go full 8/8.
Oh my god! It's so funny how he scares everyone too, and then also like, there's that moment where in that same scene where he's like. Well, the initial line he doesn't really like, and he's like, how about trying spreading ideals on a cracker? And I'm like, oh, it's so good. Honestly, okay, it's honestly not that bad of a line. You know,
it's pretty bad.
I can see the vision here. You know?
I can see the vision.
I'm a bit more sympathetic towards the guy. I'm telling you.
No. The 1/8 line, that was definitely the best one though.
Oh my God.
That had me actually dying. I was like,
it's hilarious. I'm telling you, everything with this director, he's fucking hilarious. But I don't know. Is there anything else in this kind of like this part of the movie? Like, I mean, like, there's also like, I mean, obviously it ends with like the sequence scene kind of ends with like the blow up of he blows up at everyone. Yeah. He's kind of getting everything off his chest basically that he's kind of been he's been wanting to say basically like how she's kind of been shade towards him, which she in the next scene she does actually admit. So I guess we don't see too much of it. I guess the main thing we see in that is the stairs scene, of course. But basically he goes after her. She shows up. We just talked about this, but like basically they realize that it's kind of just been a whole miscommunication, which it's kind of a theme I see with a lot of musicals. Like a lot of it's about like misunderstandings. Like a lot of the plots have to do with like misunderstandings for some reason. I don't know why that is. It's really interesting. Like the Fred Astaire musical that I've seen, Top Hat. That whole movie is basically banked on like 4 characters that don't really know what each other look like, or pairs of characters that don't know what the other person looks like. So it becomes this whole like comedy of misunderstandings and like a comedy of manners, really. But basically, they decide to go out for the night, which we get one of the most beautiful musical music, like just dancing numbers ever. Like the shot of like the city in the background at night with like the lamppost. The lamppost is like it's like the thing that like steals this scene for me. Of course, you also have the carriage ride, which looks amazing.
The carriage ride,
specifically, just the scene where they're dancing is amazing. Like, looks incredible. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it's it's one of the more famous, maybe the most famous musical number from this movie. From what I've seen, like iconic one.
I mean, it definitely is iconic for sure.
Although I'm surprised I never even heard about the noir one before.
No, yeah, like, the noir one is my favorite.
I mean, yeah, it's mine. But like, why didn't everyone talk about this before? Like, why don't we talk about this every day? Like, I mean, honestly, it deserves it. Like, it does. Oh my god. But yeah. Oh, yeah, and this is also the scene where they're dancing is also really important because it's where they find out they can finally dance together.
Yeah,
because they kind of like he had this whole thing where it was like, oh, I think she's too tall, I can't really dance with her. Like, I don't know how tall Fred Astaire is. He can't be that tall.
No, he doesn't look extremely tall.
I'm looking this up. I mean, he's 5'9", yeah. So okay. I don't know if like when it comes to like dancers, like does height really matter that much, or like I wonder how much height. Like, is it taller? Like, is it hard to be a dancer if you're taller? Or...
I don't know. I mean, not a dancer, so...
I guess it probably just depends on, like, the type of dancing, too. Like, tap dancing is probably different from, like, ballet or whatever.
Yeah. It definitely is.
But, yeah. But then we get, like, more... After this, we get, like, more...
more just, like, them bonding, almost.
Bonding, but also just, like... Yeah, bonding over how bad it's
Exactly. That's bonding, bro. That's real. That's real.
Like, and also, like... Because it is very true, because, like... I kind of go things like at work, like you kind of get bonded with your coworkers off of like really bad shifts, like when everything's going wrong. You get like closer to the people you're working with. It's like very similar here, but like the scenes of like everything going to crap is like hilarious. Like,
I just like the line of him going like this is supposed to open tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, something like that. And like she's like, oh, this was, and then like he just starts laughing.
Yeah, his laugh is kind of legendary.
Honestly, I mean his smile in general. His face, dude. What the fuck?
His face, yeah.
He doesn't even look human. In a good way.
In a good way. Like, I see what you mean.
It's a very memorable face. That's all I'm going to say. Which also, have you mentioned that, like, it's kind of crazy Fred Astaire was, like, in a Fellini movie? Like, not that, like, someone impersonating Fred Astaire.
Which one?
Fred Astaire was impersonating a Fellini movie by the guy in Roma at the beginning in the talent show.
Damn.
I'm saying we've talked about Fred Astaire on the podcast before. I just remembered that.
Yeah, I don't remember that in Roma, I guess.
Do you not remember that guy impersonating Fred Astaire?
No. Well, I hadn't seen like any. Like, this is only my second Fred Astaire. So. I probably just didn't recognize it until you said something on the podcast, and I forgot again. So. Fair
enough. But I was saying, like, I just remember we've talked about Fred Astaire on the podcast before. That's not the first time. But anyway, I mean, what is there anything like in these scenes that are memorable to you? I love. That scene of, I mean, specifically the two scenes at the end of these kind of sequences where like they're like showcasing like the moving stage, and then everything just starts like going wrong. Like the director gets like taken up by the wire on accident. But then the next one is like when they finally get to the damnation scene that he like. This director, he like always talking about the whole movie. He's like, oh, the damnation scenes, like the climax.
It's so bad.
And they're like started dancing, like the pyrotechnics,
like the
fire
is insane.
is like really like it's like they're like trying to dance around it, and it's like. And like they're getting like scared. She's getting scared by it. It's like almost.
Well, we did one of the funny. Like there was this funny moment like earlier, whenever they were like setting everything up, where they were going through the pyrotechnics. He's like, no, bigger, and they do a bigger one.
Oh yeah, like, it's like all the
it's got like it's like this is perfect, and I was just like, oh my god.
But something I love about the scene when they're dancing with the pyrotechnics going wrong is that like you see the director up above, and he has like no reaction to it at all. He's like doesn't really care. He's like, oh yeah, this is how it should be.
Yeah. But then it gets like too smoky to like. They literally have to stop because it just gets too smoky. So,
it's so good.
I do like how they do the actual performance of it, though. They just don't show it, or he just doesn't show it. Vincent Minnelli.
Oh, like
the actual performance of the Band Wagon, the opening night.
Okay, yeah. Which, yeah. I mean, because at this point you don't even need to see.
No, you saw the train wreck already.
Yeah. You saw the important part of it, you know. But basically, we kind of get the scenes of Tony showing up to the hotel ballroom. Like, it's so funny. We should talk. That we do have to talk about the reaction shots of everyone leaving. I'm sorry.
Okay, that was just it's one of the funniest shots in the movie. Honestly, like I think the first guy walks out, the sponsor or whatever. And he's just like super, like you can tell it was a terrible show, and then everyone just walks out. They're just all like this dead stone face. I don't know.
I've had that same reaction walking out of some bad.
Just
movies.
like they're walking out of a funeral, basically.
Yeah. Honestly, that, since we recorded the last one, the new Alex Garland trailer came out. That's like my reaction coming out then. Like, what the fuck did I just that was like so bad.
Yeah, Min was bad.
I thought about the movie this week because I was like, oh god damn, that movie was awful.
I think it's been a while since I've walked out of the theater. Min might have been the last one, or not like walked out, but walked out with that type of reaction, just like
That was I mean, is it, you sure though? Like, I feel like we. What about the Adam Driver dinosaur movie?
I liked that one.
Did you like it?
I did. I was one of us that liked it. I was one of the dozens that liked that movie.
There's dozens of them.
There's dozens of us.
But yeah, he goes to the hotel ballroom where like no one's there. Basically, he's like the only one eating the food. And, like he gets the food and like all like the service people are staring at him like because he's like
the cigarette lighting was my favorite part.
Okay.
They're just like he gets for the cigarette. There's just like freaking like 10 hands appear basically.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. But basically he realized like, okay, I gotta find where the people are at, you know. But he goes to like this like where basically everyone like is like kind of like celebrating how bad it is. Basically, like they're like celebrating. Oh, we got through it. Basically, that's kind of how I read it.
For sure.
Because it's definitely a fail thing. But he's like, but basically, I love these scenes because it's like this like very camaraderie, and then like everyone gets kind of like drunk and starts doing the musical number "I Love Louisa," where they're like, "I love beer."
the beer one.
Yeah,
that's how I.
It's the same
yeah.
way.
Oh no, yeah, that's how I had. That's how I wrote down the "I Love Beer" song.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like the most memorable. Like, I love beer. Like, this is when they decide to make the decision. Like, okay, we're going back to the other one, and like, he picks up the phone to call the director.
Taking back control.
Yeah. He calls the director. He's like, oh, you know, like, we're going to the original one. We don't care what you think. And then after he goes off this long thing about it, you hear the line, hello, this is the cleaning lady. Like, it's the cleaning lady the whole time. Like, I can leave a message for him when he gets back. But then that's when we see, he hangs up, and then we see the director was in the room the whole time.
Yeah. Which,
of course, as I said before, it's like, the way he shoots this and the way he's like, the director is sitting there, it's like very much, he's like setting up like he's going to be like the villain or whatever. This is his villain moment. Like, he's not going to let him take back control at all, you know? But basically he's like, oh, you know, I messed up, you know, I took it too far, you know, let's do that. Let's change it. And then basically we get maybe a fantastic stretch of just musical numbers.
Yeah,
of fantastic, just like experimentation. I mean, okay, we have New Sun in the Sky. The yellow in the first one is just like this first one is just incredible.
It is.
Oh my god. I guess I'll have to change my plan, which is just like a cool like top hat one, you know. Like, it has like a striped background, I think.
Yeah, I think it does.
Louisiana Hayride.
I like that one a lot.
Amazing.
Honestly. That was one of my favorites too.
Honestly, just like kind of the barn aesthetic just works.
Yeah, it
well
does
too, in general. We got triplets.
The triplets is where it lost me for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So.
I get why you say that. I
was watching it and I was like, what happened?
That's exactly why I love it, because it's like I remember when I was like initially kind of like you. I was like, wait, what the hell is going on? Like, why is this in here? And then I was thinking about like, I can't believe I'm watching like an old Hollywood musical. Like, how did this like get in here?
It's also the lyrics to that are honestly hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
Like I wish I could take a gun and shoot the other two or something. Like, I just like started dying laughing. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, how do you hate that? Yeah, this is amazing. Like, it's like how and also it's just kind of like creepy as hell too, which I love.
Oh, it's very creepy. It's very off-putting.
They got like the short legs. Like,
it's very off-putting.
But yeah, I mean, it's not for too long though. It's not really long though. Well, none of these really are. They're kind of just like a vignette type thing.
No, not until the Noir one. The Noir one's long.
Which, yeah, thank God he took some time on this one. Oh my god. I mean, but before we get to the Noir one, you also see them on Train Bar when he finally like realized, oh, you know, I love.
Well, isn't this also whenever he sees the letter from the boyfriend or whatever? Because the boyfriend did like storm out whenever she decided.
Okay, yeah. We started saying yes.
She chose him basically for a stare.
Well, I love he's like trying to get her. He's like, I want to stay. He's like, I'm be on the train ride to New York.
This is why I said it feels like the Red Shoes. Except it's not like the Red Shoes goes like. This is where like the Red Shoes kind of fell off a little bit for me. But
okay, that's too far. But like, I love the line when he says like, "Oh yeah, I'll be on the train tomorrow morning at 3 a.m." and she's like, have a nice trip.
Yes, exactly.
Just fire, response to that. Basically, he realized he fell in love with the girl. Which, if Danny was here, he'd be like, "Oh, of course, the romance comes."
Well, see, there was a quote that I think Jeffrey had, but before, sometime before they started this, where it's like, we're starting this production or whatever, and some of us might even go on it's like an adventure. Some of us may even fall in love. Or
yes.
They even say it. They say it in the movie. So it's self-aware.
These two literally went to war together. It makes sense why there'd be some romantic attachment too. But I'm cool with this romance. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Minnelli's good at romance, in my opinion. But basically, now we get to the noir, the murder mystery and jazz. Basically, is what it starts that way by flipping through all the rest, like the booklet, kind of like in the Red Shoes, like flipping through the. What would you call the theater, the
pamphlet? Or whatever.
The pamphlet, basically. Yeah. I guess that's probably the best word for it. Flipping through it, and we're seeing all the previous names of the musical numbers, and we get to the murder mystery and jazz, I think there's an actual name for it. I forgot what it's called.
I did too.
I forgot what it was, but basically, Girl Hunt is the
Girl Hunt.
But goddamn, what is there even to say? Okay,
you just gotta watch it. That's what there is to say.
I mean, I'm honestly, I'm just gonna start throwing out stuff I love about it, but I think my favorite color, of course, but the fog.
Yeah.
Bring what the both these movies use fog machines really well, which is another connection between the two.
I love the camera angles in this one.
Oh my god!
The camera angles are just very you don't see this a lot in musicals. It's insane.
And it's the artificial nature of it is incredible. There's a shot at the beginning where he's and there was a guy playing saxophone in the window, and the way he shoots it is it's super obviously fake sky building.
Oh, yeah.
Just through the window, you see the guy. It's what the hell? Oh my god. Basically, it becomes this murder mystery where
it's like a little short within a movie. Basically,
honestly,
this could have been just a short.
He finds a rag, a bone, and a. Hold on, I have it written down somewhere here.
It's like a rag, a bone. What is the last thing? A piece of hair.
Hank of hair. Basically, each one he investigates going to a different place.
Yeah. This honestly, it made me feel like a Dard watch this, especially after watching American Made or whatever, or Made in the USA.
Okay, honestly, that makes or Alphaville. Really, I thought of Alphaville too, because Alphaville is Godard's noir movie, which you famously gave 1 star. We're not going to forget.
We're not going to forget that.
Bad take. One of the best Godard movies. Anyway, basically, you need to rewatch it.
No, I do.
But basically, I think he first goes to the rag. The clue of the rag. He goes this. I think each one he takes it into. It takes. It was plateau. He goes to a club. And it's this a really spooky nightclub or whatever. And then maybe this is the bone or no. I think the bone's the last one. But he goes to the rag or no, the hank of hair is the last one. I forgot which order it is. Who cares? But
the bar scene.
Yes, he meets the. Okay, but first of all, he sees the one blonde girl at the beginning, falls into his arms, he thinks she's in danger, and then she disappears basically, in a poof of thing. And he goes to the first one where he gets lured by this other girl, which both of those girls were actually played by. Sid Therese,
okay.
Yeah, she plays both of them basically.
I knew that she played the dark-haired one, but I didn't know that. I didn't realize
it is cool. She really blends into each of them. It's kind of crazy. Basically, you get this scene where he goes in the back and he gets basically they ambush him. But I love it because there's one under this sheet. There's one guy with his head in the table that all of a sudden pops out.
Yeah.
But of course,
this is what I was talking about, the camera angles. Especially in these scenes where he's fighting in air quotes.
Oh my God.
It's the camera angles go insane.
Incredible. And every time he gets knocked out, the camera spins.
Yes.
And he it shows him waking up just all of a sudden on the street or whatever. The second one, I think he goes to is it the train station? Was the second one? I think or maybe he wakes up in the train station. I forgot.
Remember. I think he wakes up somewhere like that.
Yeah, or I forgot. And then I don't remember what the second one really, but the third one is the one that's really memorable. I mean, the whole sequence is amazing, but him going to the Bone Club, and basically everyone's dancing. And everyone's like dancing into the club, and he tries to dance in the club, and he immediately gets caught. But then he sees the girl from the first club at the bar, and she's wearing a green jacket, but then she takes it off and it shows the red. Yeah. Which is a big thing about Minnelli. Like he loves to like pop out that red, which we get one of my favorite musical like dance numbers, specifically like in movies in general. Like, yeah, it's like I love when she's like leaning on him and they're like walking back. Like I mean, it's hard to say. You kind of just have to watch it, but it's for sure. It's just amazing. But then you get Fred Astaire like beating up everyone. I was trying to think of an interesting way to say that. The hero. Yeah. Like literally, this is like the peak of his like he weighs nothing. Like he's like like jumping up on the bar, like spinning around, is like kicking everyone. It's like, bro, like I'm surprised he was able to film this at like his age. Which I'm curious how old he was. Oh, he was in his 50s probably in this movie, which is honestly like the fact that he's able to do that. Him and
Tom Cruise, man.
Honestly, although Tom Cruise was he like 70 this morning or some shit?
No, he's only 60. He's not 70 yet.
I think you might be wrong about that.
He's not 70 just yet. He's 60.
Oh, damn, he is 61.
Yeah,
so my bad.
Still insane.
I gave him a little too much.
Still insane
there. But yeah, incredible musical number, and then you get that final, the final reveal too that the hooded guy that he's like been chasing all along throughout this musical is like the blonde haired girl.
Yes.
But then the final shot's amazing because he gets a cigarette out and then someone else comes in with the frame with their hand and like smokes lights the cigarette for them, and it's the girl with the red dress, and he's like, but he's like basically saying I'm drawn towards like the bad, the bad girls basically. Like it's like okay, I can get that for sure.
So good.
But yeah, I mean like I already love noir, but like combining that with like a musical, but also just like combining that with the musical like Technicolor of like Minnelli is just like. This is made for me. Like,
oh yeah,
they were thinking of me in this moment.
They
made this really like. But yeah, but then after this, basically, we get the final kind of the final scene from the movie where like basically the fact that they converted this show, it's a success, it's a hit. Like when they say like the line is like the show's going to run a long time, and as far as I'm concerned, it's going to run forever. Basically, it's like it's a smash hit, and basically you get the typical romantic ending, but then they break out into the song of That's Entertainment. It's like
I like how it is typical, but they also throw you for a loop at the very beginning because like no one comes in, like everyone you think everyone forgot about, and then he walks out. It's like oh okay,
yeah. But
they all love me.
Yes, oh my god, it's incredible.
No, yeah, but it's entertainment. Yeah, musical number at the end is amazing.
I mean, yeah, what
like damn, what the movie's about? What the movie's about?
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's the Band Wagon. One of my favorite musicals. Honestly, one of my favorite movies, honestly. I'll admit that. Both these movies are just one.
I'd be happy to watch it again. So.
Oh, man. Like, it's so rewatchable, honestly. Like, kind of reminds me of, like, Rio Bravo in that way. Like, honestly, Howard Hawks has a really good, like, hangout musical in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Like, that's, like, a great, like, hangout, like, amazing time. But, yeah, I guess we can. Do you want to take a break?
It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll take a break. Right. When we're back, we'll get into
the greatest musical of all time.
Do you actually think that? Honestly,
no. No.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites, though. I'll say that.
Okay. But yeah, we'll see. We'll be right back after the break.
Stardust Brothers まったくチャンスは不思議なものであっという間に一位の連続ヒット
and we are back from the break with Makoto Tezuka's The Legend of the Stardust Brothers. So before we get into anything in this movie, I do want to get to some production notes first. So this is Makoto Tezuka's first debut feature. It's like his debut feature, so it's kind of like, I know that you were kind of surprised by that whenever I told you. He didn't really consider, like, he said that his mindset while making this was very independent and not like set on like becoming a professional director, basically. And you can kind of tell
it has like that youthful,
it does have that vigor, because he was still in university whenever he made this, like, he was that young, dude. Like he and he said that he didn't like feel that much pressure because he had made a lot of student films up to this point that apparently like debuted in like Berlin and stuff like that, the film festival and stuff. So he was like, no, I guess he was like he was known like internationally too, but I do want to say that this is just an interesting note that I had, because like I had the DVD or the Blu-ray for this movie. Yeah. And on that they have an interview with Makoto Tezuka. And he said that he's like, I mean, he's friends with like Obayashi, Oshima, all these people basically. Oh, really? Like, he was like actually friends with them. And he said that whenever he was making this movie, like a lot of the people you see in it are cameo appearances from just real people in like in like the manga industry, the anime industry, like music industry especially. Yeah. But he tried to get, he called Akira Kurosawa and said, "Do you want to be in my movie?" But Kurosawa said like he basically said no because he was making Ron. Oh my god, that's so funny. And he also called Oshima to be in his movie. Wait, what? And Oshima was like, "I really wish I could, but I'm also making a movie." So but I was like, Oshima, exactly. I was just like, this is really funny. Like, it was just so insane that he even tried that. But yeah, like the budget of this movie wasn't like a lot. It was like more than what film studios were willing to pay, though. Yeah. So I told you that the sponsor for this movie is like weirder than usual, and it's because it's like a department store. A department store in Japan decided to finance the making of this movie. Okay. So it's like really interesting. Because I don't know, it's just weird. But apparently, it did cost like more than you would assume. But
okay, I mean, there's definitely some like moments, like the digital effects and everything. Yeah, and, like honestly, some of the sets are like really insane.
The sets are insane, but like it also just still feels independent too.
Yeah, so like it definitely has like that. Like it feels like there's like a lot of camera tricks and everything. Yes. To get like the them there.
Yeah, but before we get into the movie, let me ask you, what did you think about this movie, or what do you think about this? How did you figure out about it? Actually,
I think it was from you.
I think it was, but
because I think. Around the time I watched this, like you had a top 25 list, but there's a number 1 apparently.
Damn, okay.
I remember that specifically. Like you had it at number 1. I was like, wait, what the fuck? But I don't know.
This was my favorite for a while. Like one of my favorite movies. Like the one that I had my number 1 on Letterboxd at least.
Okay, so. Which honestly is kind of like, I don't know if you like actually meant that as like, oh, this is my favorite film of all time, or just more of like a
watch this movie.
Yeah, watch this movie kind of thing.
It was more so a watch this movie. Okay. But I do love this movie. So.
I mean, I think you got me to watch this, or just like I saw it and just watched it because it was on like Tubi or something. And, like,
it is on Tubi still, actually. So.
Is it actually? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to download, but I mean, what was it to say? I mean, okay. Every musical number of this movie is like so catchy.
It's so good.
Like and like so actually good. Genuinely like what I think is like really good music actually.
Yeah, no, the composer or the artist of this movie, his name was I actually have it on here, Haru Shishida, and I think he was actually a famous musician in Japan at the time. So like he basically he liked one of Tezuka's student films so much that he basically wrote this pseudo script that was actually just a bunch of songs and said make this into a movie basically. Damn. And this is kind of what came about out of that.
Honestly, but like I love how like everything's shot like a musical. This movie is just like insane too. Like, I kind of forgot about that. Like obviously I knew this movie was kind of weird. I remember like thinking about that, but like I just forgot how like off the walls it gets.
Honestly. I forgot. I did too. I forgot.
Like, it turns like silent comedy-esque like chase scenes and like everything. It's like
does that a lot. It does that a lot.
Oh, it's so good.
No, and just what it goes for sometimes. Like I think a lot of the criticism that comes at this movie sometimes is he's trying to do so much. It feels like
it's
a lot like Kobayashi actually.
He is really going like a million miles per hour basically.
Yeah,
like
sometimes there's a lot of ideas.
Like there's a moment I forgot when it was. Like I think it was after the initial musical number of them like being like, "Oh, you're long lost brothers," basically.
Yeah, basically.
I'm just like right after like there's like a maybe like a minute or so like. Section without a musical number that just immediately jumps back into one.
It's
like,
basically this entire the reason I love this movie so much, I think, is because it's basically just one long music video. Like it really is. There's not very many moments of just them not singing or a musical number not happening.
Which honestly is like a good thing, you know.
Yes. Like, and one reason that's a good thing is because they're obviously like the actors in this are not actors; they're like musicians. So like it's very amateur acting. Like you can tell, like it's very cheesy and amateur in that way.
It's just very like Japanese, like
very hammy.
Yeah. Honestly, would you consider this movie like camp?
Oh, for sure. Oh, it's very camp.
Because I don't know enough about like those type of movies, and like a lot of people on Twitter debate like what really camp is.
This is what like I consider House a lot in the same vein as this movie actually. Like House is very campy as well, like that type of feel, and this movie has that type of feel a lot too. Yeah. So
I also forgot how much this movie was like anti-fascist too.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
I completely forgot. We'll get to it, but Hitler shows up then. Completely forgot about that.
And it's like the one guy's father too. Like,
yeah, dude, I was like, okay, sure. Forgot about that also.
Of course.
No, but we can just go ahead and get in the movie because, like, I don't even remember how I figured out about this actually.
Yeah,
like,
how did you figure this out?
I think I honestly don't remember how. I think it was just maybe on Movie one time. Whenever I had, and I was just like, "This looked awesome," so I watched it, and it was awesome. So
I was like, "Yeah, like what's?"
It's like, thank God I watched this. Like he did say, I guess before we actually get into it, that some of the biggest influences for the movie was the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Phantoms in Paradise. Wait.
Oh, the Brian De Palma?
Yeah, the Brian De Palma one.
Yeah, Phantom in Paradise.
And honestly, like, I haven't seen that one, but I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it feels a lot like this movie, so it makes sense. Like, this cult type of, like, musical, basically, but... But, yeah, we're just gonna get into the first performance and how it opens. I do love how...
Yeah.
I love how the audience is in black and white. I still don't really understand why. Like,
I guess honestly, I don't really know why either, but... I don't know if you noticed, but like, there's a shot of the audience. Someone of them is like wearing like some like monster mask in the background. That's caught me so off guard.
Oh, dude, the people in the background are insane. Like
everyone else is normal except there's like one person. Basically.
Well, even the normal people are just like their faces are so. Funny.
They're like a little off.
They're a little off. Like it's just like maybe the makeup and just their facial features too. Like compared with like the facial hair on some of the men. It's kind of funny.
But like this kind of like the framing of the movie is them like basically telling like their story basically of their rise and fall basically from success, or would you call it a rise and fall? I guess probably.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like just an artist's story basically. Yeah. Especially a musician's story. Like a very common thing is like you peak and then you fall, obviously. But yeah, no. I love the opening number. I mean, like it's just a great. It's a great way.
Stardust Brothers,
man. Exactly. I don't know if that's gonna be the song I choose, but it's definitely one of the best ones. I'm gonna say that was probably all the songs though.
Yeah, they're like all so catchy.
They're all so catchy.
Oh my god! Like I'm all stuck in my head right.
Like I cannot believe the audience just gave them like blank stares after this performance.
Like, bro,
I'd be like, how are you guys? What are you guys talking about? This performance is amazing. Exactly. No, but like the reaction shots are like one of the best parts of that opening one. It's just the reaction shots, just those blank stares. But yes, then they get into like the recounting of their actual story, and you see how they start off apart, separate in their own bands. The first,
but they're like rivals too.
But they're rivals exactly. Like the London Boots. That's Khan's. I get who's the cooler one. Khan is the cooler one.
Okay,
and
like,
Shingo
Khan's like the cooler like.
He's the typical like boy band idol.
Sleeps around like with everyone, like and then like who's the other guy?
The other one's Shingo.
He's like the loser kind of like he's good, but he's always like
he thinks he's better than he is. Also,
he has an ego with him.
Definitely.
He also treats his like bandmates like shit. It's
for sure,
but it's like in a hilarious way. Like they're like kind of like his army soldiers. Like he's like the commanding officer and like
and they give him shit anytime they can.
Like, but whenever like they always like laugh at him behind his back. Yes. It's great.
But I think like the London Boots is Khan's, and that one's like it's more like punk rock. And then like you see Shingo's performance, and his is like
more pop, like right.
It's very poppy. It's just like really weird.
It's good though. It's good.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. But we see in this during both their performances that someone is watching them.
Oh yeah, okay. This dude, the reflection off his sunglasses is so
good.
Cool.
It's so good. No, he has such a great look to him, and this guy is he was actually a really famous musician, I think, in the '60s in Japan. So it was another one of the guy that wrote the music for this. He was friends with him, I guess. So and that was the guy that I told you was in house. Okay. So they kind of got him because Obayashi had already worked with him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so he basically sends them he sends Shingo. We know this is it's one of the funnier parts, like another funny part in this movie where like we see Shingo go like crazy about like I wouldn't do this for like $10,000. It's like the contract's for $500,000.
And then like you see his like you only see his back of his head at this moment because he turns away and then he says like three but whatever the money is
$500,000.
But then you see the fake
money
ass
side.
like money like going across. It's like
with the plane sounds.
Oh
going,
yeah.
Shit. And then he's like, "Yes, I accept it," or whatever. And he like starts trying to rub it into Khan's face, and then that's when
it's like coolly just like the brother's jacket like
exactly.
It's so good.
But I do like how it's called like Atomic Promotions. Like it's definitely partially an atomic bomb reference for sure. I feel like
because they are fascists.
Yes.
Yeah, we should mention that. Like, it's a big part.
We should mention that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fascism.
It's a very big part, but it would be very easy to miss until the end. Your first time through. Although this is like one reason I also love this movie is like it is a really good look kind of at the music industry because a lot of artists have to literally sell their souls like literally sell their souls for money essentially. Like this next musical number that we get to. Whenever we see, I guess we should mention before we get to that we did see Marimo. That's the girl. The fan club girl. They kind of rescue her whenever they first walk in.
Which the security guards like they kept coming back. Funny. I fucking love them.
They're so funny.
They're like so stereotypical. It's like amazing.
Yes,
like they got the shaved heads, the sunglasses, and also the camera. Whenever they show up, is like it like starts to get like really it
starts to get really or not like whimsical, but like this breaking reality type thing.
Like handheld, like
because it's like he calls her like a turtle, and then like it shows them like standing like slow mo with her as a turtle on the ground. It's just like I don't know, it's just funny as shit, honestly. And
then like she starts like singing on her microphone.
So bad, it's so
like,
bad,
horrible. Like
it's horrible, and she has a great arc also in this movie. She has one of the best performances in this movie,
definitely.
But I had to mention her because she is a big part of the movie. So before we actually get to the next musical performance with the president on their like meeting with the president.
This one is one of my favorites from this movie.
It's great, but it's like getting to that point that I was trying to mention before of like it's basically about selling your soul for money essentially because they're artists that wanted to make their own music for themselves. But to actually make it big, they basically sold out to this guy that they don't know is their father. Yeah, but spoilers, but no, I'm just kidding. But this might be my favorite song. Like actually my favorite song because this is the moment that I fell in love with the movie the first time I watched it.
Because the song is literally like so good, obviously.
It's so good, and the way that the fucking pyramid of light behind the president whenever they first see him is so fucking funny. It's so good, but yeah, like he basically tells them that their brothers separated at birth. Basically, we don't know if he's like telling them this is their like shtick as a band duo or not. But we end up
because one of them is like, I'll accept, but like as soon as we get famous, I'm leaving.
Exactly, yeah.
But then you also big part of this musical number is like you see them like training basically. Like,
yes. Like this musical number is showing them already like they already made it to the top of the list basically after this musical number. So
oh my god.
And we don't even hear them singing together. It's all the president. So.
Yeah, basically. But you also get the musical number right after them like actually like ascend like them talking about being at the top basically. Yeah. But it's like a musical number of them just going like a bunch of it's like them going upstairs basically. Like, going to the top, basically. Like
yes. They're climbing those stairs of basically climbing the charts.
So. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah.
No, yeah, because I wrote down my two favorite things from that one were the piano stairs they were climbing on, and the climbing the charts stairs.
Also the fan club dancing was great. Yeah. I don't know. It's just really funny, like how it just like cuts to them. Just it's so good.
No, and I do like how I think the girl said she was like, don't forget like fans make or break the artist because it's true. So
true, yeah.
But like this is my entirety of my notes is just like next musical number. But
honestly, like,
the next musical number is like the one where it's basically showing Khan is cooler than the other two. Essentially, like he's basically like forgetting about them because like I don't know if you remember this one, but it's like Marimo is like looking at him longingly, and then like you see Shingo's like off to the side and stuff like that, and all the girls are like around Khan and stuff like that. Yeah. It's the credit card is maxed out one. Okay. If you remember that, like, I don't know what these songs are actually called, but the chorus is like my credit card's maxed out.
But this one gets kind of sandwiched between like the one before and then the horror one, right?
The horror one is the next one. The horror one. This is maybe my second favorite after this.
This is like pretty much like what musicals can do with like surrealism.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, before we even get to the musical number, like him hanging out with the girl and the girl's like head falling off is like insane.
No, I completely forgot this turned into like a horror movie for a second.
Yeah, and it's like the practical effects are amazing.
Oh, they're insane.
Like, did they get John Carpenter to do these? Like, what the hell?
No, but he said that they had like a stylist. Like instead of like costume designers, I guess they went like a stylist for this movie, like for like modern day or to like make it feel like at the time or something like that.
Damn.
No, yeah, but that was the first thing in my notes was the brain monster. It comes from nowhere. Like it's so fucking good.
It's like you don't even know if it's real because it's the start of like because at that point everything's played up to be reality.
Yeah,
and that scene and basically it just goes off the rails all of a sudden.
Yes, no, it goes off the rails directly after that musical where it's like. Khan is like better than Shingo because this is Shingo's ego basically getting attacked. Because like all these monsters come out of nowhere. It's literally about him being like the worst member of the band basically. Yeah. It also turns into like it goes like to animation style like halfway through this one also. Like the animation style is insane also. It's so good. Yeah. And I also said the bass goes hard in this in that musical number.
Really, in all of them, really, I feel like maybe.
On this one more than usual.
I guess probably the bass more noticeable because bass is hard to like a harder instrument to like notice in a lot of songs.
It is, but the bass slaps in that one. But we see like the next musical number is like the manager called, but right before that we see that they're supposed to be performing.
Oh, okay.
This is supposed to be like one of their big performances again. Like they got a sold out house.
Yeah.
And we see that like Khan is there, and he's not even like caring what happened with Shingo. Essentially, he's just like, oh, I don't know where he is. It's only 20 minutes from performance. He's like, I don't give a shit. But the manager getting called was like really funny to me because you see like. All the fucking lackeys behind them are like drinking all of the alcohol that's just left around, smoking his weed and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, this song is literally just what it's called. Like they called the manager, and he's basically gonna get fired after this.
Yeah.
Because we see after this all happens, Khan basically throws the girl. I think it is Marimo because every time I try to type it in, it always like autocorrects to Mario, so I have to like go Marimo. But he throws her out to like on stage until Shingo gets there, and he goes to eavesdrop basically. On because this is like the moment where you figure out how fascist this is basically.
Like basically using art to control.
This is where like some of the ideas come in for sure.
Non-moral reasons basically.
Yeah, they're trying to control. The youth via entertainment, and that's literally. I mean, it's still valid. It's what fascism is. It's still valid today. I mean,
Mussolini, during his reign of power, built Shinoshita. He was the one who like got Shinoshita to be built, but like obviously because he's fascist, like it obviously wasn't for like the reasons why like you would want it to be built. Like,
exactly.
Like he's like more like this is a propaganda money making machine, but At least Shinoshita eventually got used for good.
Exactly.
Like in Casanova.
Sure.
Sure.
Anyway.
Eavesdrop is great.
It's just where more of the ideas come in.
This is also when they like basically
they introduce the new idol basically.
The new idol, which is like it's like a zombie Elvis. I don't even know how you would even describe like zombie K-pop star maybe. I don't.
He does look like a K-pop star.
Or a ghost.
I don't know. Yeah, he definitely looks like a ghost. He basically turns into a zombie at some point.
Pretty much. He's like Michael Jackson from Thriller, the Thriller music video, basically.
But I do like how his music is like different from theirs because you can like tell it's more rock inspired, like actual modern rock inspired. their music is, because their music, at least like the Stardust Brothers music, is more so up to this point than poppy, like 50s 60s pop rock basically.
Yeah, it's
like that type of rock. But yeah, that's that basically Shingo gets there before we even get like introduced to the other guy fully. Shingo has to start stripping on stage and singing a terrible song. Just insanity. Like, what is going on? Like I remember watching it the first time going like, oh my fucking god. Like it's just taking like that the Michael Scott approach of like embarrassment. Like I can't watch that much embarrassment basically on screen at once. Like I have to turn away.
It's one I can tolerate because it's like, I don't know.
He's drunk at least.
Yeah, he's like drunk. It's like kind of just like the whole movie. Kind of.
I mean, we did skip over Muramo's performance, I guess.
Oh yeah,
because she was fucking amazing. Like that's one of the best songs in the entire movie too.
She just have like that basic like the way she's her hand. It's like kind of hilarious. I kind of like it. Honestly.
It is.
But it's like so like just like very like stereotypical.
It is. No, but I mean that's one of the best songs in the movie. It's just it's so good. But yeah, like after the performance that basically ruined them, I love the like lens change that he does because he goes to like that.
Oh man, it's like some Stalker. Like,
it's so good.
It's like the meaning of Stalker.
Like literally though, it looks so good. It looks so good, but it definitely just emphasizes their downfall. And I do like how they think for a moment there that like those girls are like running to them. But then it's just like they literally run right over them. This is kind of like the silent comedy you were talking about.
It's very similar to the Band Wagon, where like he thinks about running for him.
And it's not. It's for the new hotness, which is the new idol. This is the first time we see him. So, and then this is the first time we also hear his performance, which is like it's a song about peace, but it's got that like modern. It's more modern rock than it is like that pop rock. We do see like the Stardust Brothers performance at like this rundown bar in the rain.
I love how the rain looks.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's like so artificial the way it falls straight down. It's like usually rain falls in like a
usually there's some wind or something. You know?
It's just like straight down. Yes. Like it honestly looks like there's like a wall of rain just like invoking.
It looks like this fucking bar has like just this platform where the musicians stand has like an open air, and then everywhere else has like a roof around it. Even though they all have umbrellas in the audience, so you assume it's raining there too. But that's the way it looks.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I thought the music was fine, but
but it's like obvious, like no one really cares.
Exactly.
They're like their music's good, but it's like it's past. Like the times have passed.
And that is, it's good that you say that because this movie didn't do well in Japan whenever it first came out.
I mean,
because it took it was supposed to be a very modern movie, but it took 3 years to come out, so it was basically already out of fashion in Tokyo at the time, but. I mean, he ended up saying he ended up getting people after a few years basically started saying like we actually really enjoy how this movie portrayed Tokyo because it's like the Tokyo that people dream of basically.
Okay, yeah.
Not like the Tokyo of the time, but it's the Tokyo people dream of.
Okay.
But I love the scene that comes next. It's the letterbox header. It's the harmonica on the steps. Like after their walk of shame through the like getting stopped by the bodyguards this time, and then getting
Which the girl, the fan club girl, who's now a star now.
She is a
basically
star.
Saves them from that. Basically, like flips the beginning scene from their head.
Exactly.
Or no, was it the guy? Actually, was this?
It was the guy, I think. Yeah.
They're two different times. I forgot which order they come in though.
This one, I'm pretty sure, is the guy that came in.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think the next one is right before the chase. I think. Yeah.
Because he gets really mad, or Shingo gets like really mad whenever he saves them, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, the harmonica playing was so good, and this love a good harmonica. The girl does like pop her hands. I heard that shitty harmonica playing or something. It was really funny, but this is where like. They're just revealing their deepest secrets, and this is where it's like
rock bottom,
basically rock bottom. But this is where you figure out it's like what the band was built on was actually real. Like they are the Stardust Brothers. They have hearts on the opposite side of their chest.
Oh my god!
And so what was the other thing? They had like something else in common, but they were both abandoned as a child.
Oh yeah. Oh my god!
Both the band as a child and their hearts are on the opposite side of their chest, so that's how you know they're brothers in real life.
Even though it's manufactured, it's still somehow it's real.
Yeah, but this is like Khan basically saying like I want to start from scratch again with like no producers. This is like the indie movement basically for sure.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we're really
we're gonna start new. You know? Yeah, we're doing it for the art exactly. But after this scene, we see more of the Nepo baby, as I call him, now, because that's what he is. He got his start because his daddy decided to want to be like the big rock star. Yeah. But we see how much of like an asshole he is. He's basically setting up this plot to capture Marimo.
Yeah, because I think he's in love with her.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
he's in love with her for sure.
And he's also like barely holding. He's like.
Literally dying, essentially.
Yeah, basically, he's like running on like cocaine, like drugs, basically.
Basically, running on drugs and alcohol because like every time
he's a robot, he's a drug
alcohol. Every time he drinks alcohol, he like has seizures and stuff.
Yeah,
which is used to like tricky effects because like whenever you see that scene, like she gets tricked in the hotel room.
Yeah,
it cuts out and then like to the boys running to her rescue after that, like after they find out where she is, but then it like cuts back to the room. And you see, like, the bed moving and everything and all these, like, grunts and stuff. And you're like, oh, shit, he's raping her or whatever. Yeah, and it's like, no, he's just having a seizure on the bed.
He just like that. You know?
No, he's just like that. But this is where he starts turning, like, he literally kind of, like, starts looking like a zombie after this. But this musical number is just great. Like, the musical number of him, of her saving, or of her being saved by the boys.
Yeah. Turning in the chase, basically.
Like, it's turning into the chase now, yeah. This is, like, with the more of the silent comedy stuff
just
that we're talking about.
Like, insane. Like,
it is.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of great parts about it. Like, when the ball thing rolls down, like, everyone's getting
so funny. It's so cartoony. It's
honestly,
like,
there's a part that reminded me of the circus when they act like the mannequins in the wedding store. And it's like when Charlie Chaplin acts like the robot thingy in the
the animatronic.
Yeah, animatronic in the
circus.
Yeah, the magic. It's more like an amusement park thing.
Yeah, the magic room or whatever.
Yeah, that thing. It's like a very similar thing, but and then they basically from that point on, they're always in that like attire too. And like one of the boys is like in a wedding dress too.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
No, yeah, because after that music number, they get like. They get cornered.
Oh my god!
But they get saved because the guy is so famous now that his fans are like, his fans like basically stop them from being killed.
Basically, yeah.
But this starts essentially the last musical number of the movie.
Well, it cross cuts with
it does cross.
With them meeting with the fascist, basically, which is Hitler.
Exactly. Because it's called Crazy Game, and this. It's so hard to choose a favorite song because this is like also just an amazing song. Yeah. But the cross cutting is what makes it amazing too because like they like we forgot to mention that the villain's cars is like has like this teleportation function or whatever. Like, it's just some stupid ass thing. But they hit the teleportation button in the middle of the song and then just cuts to fucking this guy. Or we see like the dad or the president as I called him like in my notes, the president of Atomic Promotions coming and talking to the father of the new idol or whatever, and he's talking about basically their plan and everything, and his plan to take over Japan. Yeah, and then he turns around and it's fucking Hitler. It's just like
it's like not even it's like old washed up Hitler too.
Exactly. Well, it's just like he somehow survived World War II. Like he's got like this fucking giant scar over his eye. It's just like
he's like deflated basically. Like
it's so he literally looks deflated.
And like basically it's the idol, the new idol's father. Basically, it's revealed.
Yes. It's just so so insane. Like I laughed so hard whenever I saw it again this time because I'm just like it comes literally out of nowhere. but Crazy Game continues after that. Which is like everyone dancing around and shit.
Because they all get teleport, like they come outside below the table all of a sudden, and it goes dance party, and like basically people are trying to shoot, like they're trying to they're
still trying to kill the Stardust Brothers.
Yeah, but
Shingo is in the new idol sites, but the president saves his life.
Damn.
And this starts another great musical number.
I love this like musical number.
It's so good.
It's so good. Oh my god.
With barely any in between time at all. Like these in between times where they're like maybe a minute long until to like another musical number. So.
It's hilarious.
I wonder what Dan would think about this movie.
We gotta get him to watch it.
Honestly. But I mean, this one's just great. Like this, it's just a great send off. I don't know for him.
Basically, it revealed that he's their father.
Yeah,
basically.
like that's basically the reason he made it is to like make new stars. Like that's his new purpose in life is to make stars out of new people. Even though I don't know. It's kind of weird that it was working for Hitler.
He got caught he's a cog in the machine.
He was a cog in the machine.
But he realized
he stepped up whenever it mattered.
Yeah, he sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie is like basically them dying.
It goes back to the beginning.
And then basically they
get shot and die.
Or did they get shot, or they just like, I thought they were just like combusted, like they like fell apart.
I think they're supposed to be shot. Like that was kind of the thing.
I read it as like that their bodies finally broke down on them.
Basically, no, that's a good reading too. Because there's blood and whatever, but it's like sparks that come out of their back or whatever for sure. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
No, I like that. But yeah, they literally become stars.
Their outfits are amazing. I don't know if you even mentioned that.
Oh, they are. Yeah, no, the outfits in this entire movie, like we probably didn't do them justice, and the sets, but like they were insane.
Also, very like the lobby of the studio thing. It's like super empty except for like one little statue, basically.
Yeah,
it's like hilarious. It's like something for like Tati would put in like Playtime.
I mean, honestly, no, it does have that type of vibe. It does have that type of vibe. But yeah, like they both get shot, and then like the curtain drops, and then it just pulls back and says Makoto Tezuka film. Amazing ending.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that is the Legend of the Stardust Brothers.
Damn,
one of my favorite musicals.
Honestly, one of my favorite musicals too. I'd say.
It's just got so much energy.
I need to watch more like just find some more Japanese musicals like deep cuts.
For sure.
Like.
I mean, this is one of the deeper ones. It's still only got 5,000 logs on it.
Really?
It's insane.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy. It's still that low like scene because it is on Arrow. It's on Tubi. It's actually readily available for people to watch. Like you can buy it for fairly cheap on
downloading. It's pretty easy. Like
I mean, downloading most things. Not most.
But the cedars on this one's like active. So.
Yeah, I mean it should be.
Yes, sir.
No, one of the best cult movies. But yeah, that's our musical episode for this week. So that was
hopefully
fun.
not our last one. You know?
Oh, it won't be our last one. We might have to force Danny to do one of these.
Okay.
You know?
I'm gonna pick. I know a Vincente Minnelli one that like he will hate, but like it'll be fun to talk about. An American in Paris.
Oh, okay. I don't love American in Paris either. But
when did you watch it?
It was a while ago.
Okay, you need to rewatch it.
No, I do.
It's Gene Kelly.
Bro. I gave it the Cowards 3.5.
Oh, you can't give Gene Kelly 3.5 stars, especially for American in Paris. Like the colors in the movie go off as well. It's like
I do remember it looking really great. So
it's incredible. Music numbers are great, but anyway. Yeah, so next week we are doing the 2023 recap.
Is it that one, or are we doing the drafts?
I think we're doing the recap first.
Okay.
One of those two first.
Okay.
I think it's the recap, though.
Okay.
Danny will be back. He's no longer...
Dad will be back.
Dad. But yeah, anything else to say?
Musicals are amazing.
Yes. Please give them a chance. Modern musicals are kind of modern day, from what I've seen, not as good, not nearly as good as like older ones. I feel like they've kind of, at least the mainstream ones.
Well, I feel like the last one I saw was La La Land, and that's not great. So, or I mean, it's fine.
It's better than like a lot of like the mainstream ones though. Like
La La Land is mainstream.
But like, okay, I'm talking about like the blockbuster ones.
Well, like Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Wonka, even though I haven't seen Mamma Mia either. Honestly.
I haven't seen Mamma Mia.
Maybe I'll watch Mamma Mia and I'll like it. You know, who knows?
Are we talking about the Disney musicals or something?
Probably, yeah, those two. But yeah, anyway. Hope to see you next time. Catch you next time. Hope to see you floating through the clouds.
鏡の前で力こぶを続けてほっとしても無駄なことさパッパラララ自分の歌がラジオに流れる馬鹿げた歌が流行るものだぜ さ守り通すさピアノの前で人差し指をポーズつけて弾いてみても始まらないパッパラ